Hey. Boss ladies, welcome to the call. Wow, the lights are just amazing. Our energy's crazy. That's really what it is.
Yes, yes.
How are you awesome people doing tonight? I hope you're having a great night. It's kind of cold here in Boston, but we don't really let the cold bother us or get us down.
Right.
Now, tonight is going to be an awesome call. I am so excited about the call that we're going to have. I'll tell you a brief description of who I am so you know who you're talking to. And then I will have our special guest do the same thing. How about that? Yes, how about that?
Sounds good.
Okay. So my name is Tamika Bispham, single mom, hard background, overcame it, and is doing amazing now. So I'm so excited about that. That's me in a short, right? I really want to jump into the topic tonight. And the topic tonight is becoming debt free. Ladies, tell me that's not so important.
Super important.
We are always like pinching the coins and stuff, making sure everything's on point. But imagine becoming debt free. So tonight I'm going to interview Miss Nicole Barnette, and we're going to hear her story and where she came from and what she has going on and why she got picked for this interview. So Nicole is an amazing woman, and I appreciate everything about her, her energy, her drive. She's just a beautiful person all around, and she's accomplished some great things, and she's one of my biggest supporters, and she is my support system, and I hope it's vice versa. So,
Of course.
we've been in this together for some time, and I just watch her growth, and it's just so amazing. So I can't wait for her to share it with you guys. All right, so Miss Nicole, you want to tell them a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Like Tamika said, my name is Nicole Barnette. I was born and raised in Boston, Massachusetts. I love the city. Such a city girl. I live with my parents right now, and it's been amazing to see like my parents get older and grow and everything like that. And one thing that was challenging for me, and the reason why I'm here, one of the main reasons why I'm here, is because I saw my dad particularly. He's someone who works hard. He's someone who's always, providing for the family. Yet, even at his old age, he isn't where he wants to be financially, and he's not, he's not at the point where he can actually, take that time off and retire how he needs to. And so I saw that as an opportunity for me to really move forward and like see what's out there, see, when Tamika actually introduced me to this program, I knew that this was for me because of the fact that it had investing in it. And that was something that I knew I wanted long term, is to have that plan where when I am ready to, to retire, or when I'm 75, I'm not worrying about anything besides lying on a beach and having fun, sipping my Mai Tai, or whatever it is that I'm doing at 75. So that's a little bit about me. And, I have some really, big lofty goals, and I know that financial literacy is really going to take us to that next level.
Awesome. So that's just the beginning. You see how I had to roll back because the energy was crazy. But that's just the beginning of Nicole. And Nicole, with this interview, we're talking a lot about becoming debt free and that role. And I know that this is something really important. Can you share with the ladies, exactly why it's so important to you? Just why it's important to you about becoming debt free?
Yeah, absolutely. I went to college. Let's just say, my every single year I was in college, it was $42,000 every year for 4 years. That's something that was really challenging for me, because I'm like, how am I gonna pay, all of this off? Like, really, how am I gonna set myself up for success if I'm saddled with a whole bunch of debt? I'm grateful that I have my father to help me out, but there's still it's still $42,000 a year. So one thing that I knew that I wanted was to be financially savvy. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't saddled with, this debt till I'm 75. I don't want to be someone who isn't constantly, making moves to be debt free. And so I made a vow that I would be debt free by the end of next year, this time. And I'm on my way to really getting there.
Do y'all hear that? Do y'all hear that? She has a plan in place in the program. Wealth Generator helps her with that. That's something that I really need people to understand. It is so beautiful to make money, but if you don't know how to control what you're doing with your money, how can you even go forward? It's like it's still a circle. It's still a circle because you're still making all this money, but you don't have any of it. And I look at people who win the lottery. I look at celebrities who are like dirt poor very quickly. People who get that fast cash who don't have the mindset of like financial freedom. That find aspect. And if you don't know, Wealth Generators, we have 3 aspects. 3 simple ones: find, grow, and keep. And financial freedom and we're just an amazing financial wellness company. And these are the things that are very important. And I hope that you guys understand that these are things that should be very important to you as well. So now, Nicole, now that we know that you got some of the information from Wealth Generators, what was it particularly in Wealth Generators that you've seen that helped you towards this journey? Or who?
Absolutely. So there's a lot of great resources and a lot of great tools that we have. There's so many things that I want to touch and talk about. So one definitely Ross Jardine. He's someone who has, his story is incredible. He's someone who has, was saddled with a whole bunch of debt and continuously, made efforts to become debt free, and now he's living the life that he wants to live. And we get to benefit off of that story and that experience that, he has shared with us. And so, Ross Jardine really is that staple that really helps me to understand really where I'm going with my debt and how I can, take those necessary steps to, to really make things happen when it comes to financial literacy. And so really that piece within itself is, priceless, because there's not a lot of places where you can go and really ask questions and really, get that access to people who are actively getting out of, or who've actively gotten out of debt because they made a plan for themselves. And we're so blessed to have Ross Jardine in our circle. And in terms of the actual platform, that's something that really helps me to see how, you need a plan first and foremost. And then seeing a plan kind of laid out for you, that's really what WG has helped me to understand, how I can get, from having 3 college loans to now having 1 college loan. So really that is the piece for me, having a platform that can show me how to, put in all of my expenses, how to really look at it and really decipher what do I need and what don't I need, right? And really figuring out what ways I can improve and what things I need to cut back on and what things I really need to focus on and really think about, okay, well, I need to expand and make more income in this area, or I need to, challenge myself in this area because that's how I'm going to get out of the debt that I have. And I can even talk about the debt that I got out of.
Yes, you can. So I was going to ask you that next. So you talked about the information that you received. Actually, before we go into what the outcome was, can you talk for a second about maybe some of what you got in the actual from Ross with his mentorship program? Because I know she was so excited about it. It made me actually start looking at it, and it really is phenomenal. So can you talk a little bit about some of the things you got from the back office?
Right, absolutely. So Ross Jardine really talks about, there's a couple of ways that you can actually pay off your debt. And one way that really resonated with me that he talked about was paying off the smaller loans that you have first. right? And so I was like, that makes sense for me. For some people, it may be the higher interest that he talks about. You know, he really deciphered and talked about like what different ways work best for you, and really picking, like I said, like picking a plan and sticking to it, and really making sure that you're having that plan moving forward with it. So that was something that really resonated with me. Like, how can I, get out of this debt, and then really figuring out the ways and sticking to it. So that was one thing that I got from the program. And just being more savvy, even during Christmas time. And what I like to do is actually have a call where we actually dissect and talk about, some of the basics that Ross talks about within his training, because I do think it's important to not just like take in information, but also have a dialogue about the information that he's, giving out. And so even in Christmas time, we talked about, 12 ways to save, or, to not be saddled at the end of Christmas with a whole bunch of gifts, but also being, again, in further debt. And so he just always goes through, how to make things better for your financial life. And that's what I absolutely love. Like, those pieces are super crucial and super imperative to our growth. And, it's really about financial literacy. And that's really what he talks about. And it's such invaluable information. And I've really learned a whole lot of information from him in terms of that.
Awesome. See, my thing is, and I would love for all of you boss ladies and gentlemen that get on to understand that you need to be a product of the product, right? Because the product is amazing. Wealth Generators has given you the opportunity to be around some amazing people. These experts are well known for what they do. Ross he's America's money mentor. Like, come on. Like, that's who Ross is, and it's not a game. It's something that we discovered, some of the things that he's done in his past. And he's such a cool, laid-back guy. Oh, my gosh. I would tell you, if you ever get to meet Ross, have a conversation with him. One of the coolest things that I got from Ross was when he talked about credit cards and how you can consolidate them and stuff like that. I know that my other business partner, that was something that he had no idea that you could actually do. So there are so many nuggets that this man has to offer you for your financial life that you should really pay attention to, and towards the end of the call, we're definitely going to send out a challenge for you to do. And I feel like you should do it and then post about it. And you'll see the results, because ladies and gentlemen, understand that it's not all about growth. You've got to you have to understand what money management really means for you, for your family. Because if you're in a hole and you're trying to go out, but the water's coming in, you have to figure out the first step first. That's all I'm saying to you. Now, Nicole, so one of the things I got from what you said is that not only did you receive the message, she received it, guys. She received the message. Then you also started reteaching the message. So tell me about that journey. What does that even look like? Well, I know, but I know you guys don't. So tell me about that journey. Well, tell the people.
So talking about the phone calls that we do on Tuesday nights. Yeah, absolutely. So whenever the Ross Jardine training comes on, the week after, we always talk about the key fundamentals. What are the key things that we got out of the training from Ross Jardine's webinar? And that within itself, I love that idea of getting together, talking about how we can collectively and holding each other accountable to our goals. How can we collectively get to our financial goals? And like you said before, it's not just about making money, but it's also about keeping that money and seeing where, we're spending a lot of money on Ubers, or you're spending a lot of money on the food, and really holding ourselves accountable to our long-term vision, like Vinny likes to say, our 1,000-year goal, right? Our legacy. And that starts really with understanding where you are. And I think a lot of people overlook that because it's easy to overlook. And having us really have this time to actually go through and talk about it, dissect it, is something that is really meaningful and purposeful for me. And I know that it's purposeful for others too, to just have that dialogue. So I love when I can get on the trainings and talk about what he's really helped us all learn from the monthly training.
Awesome. So what I will say is, boss ladies, like I already know. So some of you have kids, some of you don't, but I know one thing that we're really good at doing is making sure that we can really have what we want. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm saying to you guys is why not fine tune that with Ross? Why not fine tune that? Because you can, if you're a mom, you can go in the grocery store with $100 and make it work. Make it work for the whole week. I know you can. So why not fine tune it? Why not fine tune it?
Right, absolutely. We have to make sure that we are keeping ourselves on target and on point with our financial goals. Being financially literate is super, super important. Having access to, the information that challenges us on our finances is key. Like, we literally cannot get to the next level if we don't buckle down and challenge our mindset in that type of way. And because I've been so dedicated to financial literacy, I've been able to actually get out of two of my major college loans. One being the federal Perkins loan that I had, and I got out of that just about 8 years sooner, right?
Oh, okay. All right. Yes, continue talking.
And then the second loan that I got out of was my Fed loan, which I got out of just about last year, like the end of last year. And that was something that was incredibly important to me, to not be settled with all this debt. And like I said, the plans that we have laid out are super important, right? And sticking to those plans are incredibly imperative to our financial growth. And that was something that was like crazy to me to say, I got out of two of my loans. What? Two of my loans. And there's not a lot of people that can actually say that they got out of college loans at this point. I'm about 5 years out of college, and I can literally say that I am more than halfway done with paying off my college loans in totality. And that's something that is incredible for me. And I know that, a lot of other people.
Let's go, Nicole. So we're going to take a little walk. We've been told that there's lots of interference. So we're going to take a little walk. Nicole, say hi to the folks.
Hi.
Isn't this fun? There's always little changes. But we want to make sure that you guys can hear us well. And that was something, they have really good chairs. Ooh, the lighting is on fleek. Oh, we're going to look amazing. Amazing. In here from the jump.
I know, right?
Okay, so, all right, here we go.
All right.
All right, so we're back. Oh my God, we should have been here from. Oh my God. You guys can see how cute we are now, right? But go ahead, Nicole.
Yeah, no, I was just talking about how I was able to get out of two of my major loans. And a lot of people, unfortunately, cannot say that they've done that. At least, 5 years out of college. And that was something that was super important to me to say, now I can really focus on building wealth the right way, because now I'm getting out of debt and also building more income and, challenging my mindset. And that's really what it's all about. And being more financially literate, like I said before, like that's key. That is so, so, so important.
Oh, she's so awesome. So I'm so amazed by how good we look. But what I was gonna say, speaking about college students, we recently did a survey last year on 500 college students, and some of them didn't even know what financial aid was. So, that is such a big issue, just that in itself. So the knowledge that we have, we need to be sharing it with people. And these are the things that we're talking about. Like, to be honest, we're actually starting a club at a college, and it's going to be all about, we're going to call it Next Level Finances. Bars.
Hey.
And the reason we want to do that is because there's so many different things that people just don't know. You have to be in the camera though. Okay, make sure you're there. There's so many things that people just don't know because they don't know. You know, I remember when I was in school way back in the day. I'm an old lady now.
You're not.
But I didn't know what I was filling out. I just filled it out so fast, with no understanding of why I was filling it out. The school told me I needed to do it. I didn't know that there was any other options. And paying that back has not been easy. And that interest before learning about Ross was killing me. It was so high. And it made no sense. And these are things that a lot of people still face because they don't know we exist. So it is our job, boss ladies and gentlemen, to let these people know what it is that they don't know. Like, hey, you don't have to do all of that. That's not the way, Let's make a plan. So Nicole, I think that it's so beautiful that you have a plan.
Yeah.
And
thanks to WG.
I know.
Honestly and truly, it was because of WG and Ross Jardine, and the supportive team that that we have established in Boston, of course, and just really making sure that we can. I personally, and also a commitment to it, that I can get out of two of my major loans. So. I'm excited.
I'm so excited for you. I can't wait till you guys see the video when she gets out of the third one.
No, it's gonna be awesome.
As you can see, this is not a game. We really need to do this more often.
Yeah.
Right. We need to, because there's so many different people. Maybe people aren't really that into like investing right at this moment, but maybe they really need that help with finding their money. Maybe they're like me, where when I first started, I was spending $600+ on Uber, and then another $500 on Starbucks. Wow. Guys, and this isn't a month's time. This isn't, and I was always trying to figure out, well, where's all my money? Like, I know I'm working,
right?
I'm working, but I don't see any of this money. Right? Where's it going? These things add up. These little costs add up. So if you just think about it, I buy Starbucks maybe once or twice a day. Starbucks starts at like $5. Okay, guys?
Right.
It's anything that you actually want starts at $5.
Right.
Okay? So that's a problem. And then there was times I was like, oh, this little pack is so cute. I don't have lunch. So let me get it. $10.
Yep.
So that's $15 in one trip. These are not things that I really pay attention to. Even at the grocery store, like I remember when my mom first came to visit me, she was just like, you're so on top of like your budget. Like, no, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. That's not in the budget. No. It gave me discipline. That's what Ross really did that for me. He showed me discipline and really understanding, like, if this is the goal, and that's the other thing that he does, goal setting with your finances, planning out for trips. We've done that in the past.
Yeah,
oh my God. Oh my God, Cancun. We planned Cancun out. We went to Cancun. That was last year.
Yeah.
Last year we went to Cancun and we put in a budget. Like,
yeah, we did.
You need to do it. I'm telling you right now, Ross really helps you with these things. And now we have the deductor. It's even more awesome.
Yes.
Oh my God, the deductor is so awesome. You get to see everything, like, all in your face, like in your face, just right there for you to see. And the deductor is so awesome because you can really like pinpoint everything. And you don't just use a deductor for the fine portion, you also use it for the keep.
Exactly.
And I love that because you have personal and business, and you can really sit there when it's tax time and have no tax stress. So, when I tell you that we're a financial fit company, Wealth Generators has it all, guys. And we're only getting better. Let me tell you, we're only getting better. But these two aspects are so important. We focus a lot on the growth side, but find and keep are needed so that you can really go ahead and go in with growing your money, because that's the only way it works. Now, Nicole, what are your final thoughts for the folks?
I would say my final thought for you all is to, one, make sure that you're keeping as much time as you put and grow, as you're spending, acquiring more income, make sure you're spending that same amount of time putting it into understanding where you are financially. And being a part of the company means that you have a roadmap to success. It means that, everyone around you is about helping you to financially succeed. And so that's why I love, being around this environment of people who are forward moving, who are, driven to success and who are driven to getting, absolutely everything that they want in life. And a part of that is being more financially literate. And so I'm committed to my personal finances. I'm committed to helping my team. I'm committing to helping WG and honestly and truly all women everywhere who are part of this global movement.
Amen. I love you guys out there. I love you guys.
And men as well. To being more financially fit. So, those are really my final words. And, if you are not a part of this company yet, come on board, definitely talk to the people who have showed you this information, because this is honestly and truly life changing. It's changed my life. I've been here for about 2 years, and I honestly and truly, I've been thoroughly changed because of the knowledge, because of the people, because of the information that I've got. And honestly and truly, I don't see any other place that could give me this kind of experience. So.
That includes school. But that's another story. Guys, I know that WG is just amazing. I could even think about one of our teammates when Rashad got really passionate.
Yeah.
He started coming on the fine calls, and he was just so passionate. And now he's figuring out his debt and getting out of it. This is really what it's about, guys. Like, you need to be passionate about getting yourself out of whatever you got yourself in. Is it hard? Yes. Can it be done? Yes. It might take some years, guys, right? But you will never know if you don't start, right? So now we have like 4 minutes left. I just want to say quickly, thank you so much, Michelle Wilson.
Yes.
I love my Michelle Wilson like nobody's business. I absolutely love her. And, giving us this opportunity to come in and really talk about the value behind Find is so important. And we wouldn't be able to do it without you or Annette. So, that's the founder of WG, and Michelle is the founder of the Boss Lady Movement. And I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about the Boss Lady Movement, because you need to know how amazing we are, okay? Like, we're really amazing. We're out here changing lives, okay? And, I think that this is probably the one place that I can honestly say that I have felt so supported by the other women in my life. That goes out to Robin, that goes out to Jess, oh my God, Charnel, the Mexico team, oh my God, Priscilla, Wendy, like, the women that are around us are just so amazing. Charity, like, I just love them so much, and you can embrace women. We don't tolerate oh my God, none of that. No here, well, we flip here, but it's for other reasons, okay? And we're all about support and growth. That's what the Boss Lady Movement is. And we're not trying to exclude the guys, but we want to uplift women. And that's exactly what we do. So again, Michelle Wilson, I want to thank you. Thank you for starting this movement at WG, taking the time out with your 2 kids, pushing it, making it happen, out here in the US of A. You are the business. And again, I want to thank all of you that hopped on. Now, the other thing that I would like for you to do is share this on Facebook, share it on Instagram, share it everywhere, because there's people that don't know that they can find all of what's going on in their lives. They can get out of debt. Becoming debt free is so very important. And I think that time and money are the 2 things that really hurt people. And that's why they can't live up to their fullest potential, because they're so stuck on this time and money. So let's help them out of that situation. Let's smack that situation right on out there so they don't have that anymore. So guys, ladies and gents, boss ladies out there, we want to say thank you for tuning in. We hope that you found value in what we had Nicole, really quick, tell them how they can find you.
You can find me on Facebook, and my name is Nicole T. Barnette. I definitely, I utilize Facebook a lot and Instagram as well, Nicole T. Barnette.
Awesome. Any other places where they can find you?
Oh, you can find me on YouTube as well, Nicole T. Barnette again.
Okay, all right. I like when people, promote themselves a little bit. Again, I'm one of those pushy boss ladies. Like, go ahead and do your thing. If you ever need me, it's very easy to find me. You can find this pretty face right here on Facebook, Tamika Bispham, and you can also contact Michelle or whoever and they will give you any information that you need because we're out here supporting women and making it happen. Guys, I hope you're having a wonderful 2017 and I hope you find this useful. Definitely press like below if you liked it, if you loved it. Even if you didn't, leave some beautiful comments, only beautiful comments. Thank you very much and have a wonderful night.
Bye, y'all.